Hi, precious people. Welcome to my video. Hello, my name is Farah Nurkumaila. First of all, I'd like to thank my lecturer and all of you guys for giving me the chance to present today. So, the title of my presentation is Understanding Grammar Instruction in EFL, a review of 10 articles. And yes, in the next 14 minutes, I will walk you through what these articles say about teaching grammar, students and teachers' beliefs, and how modern methods can make grammar learning more effective. Okay, without further ado, let's get started! Alright, let me begin with the purpose of this presentation. I reviewed 10 academic articles that focus on grammar teaching and learning in EFL classroom. Each article brings a different perspective. Some focus on teacher beliefs, some on student preferences, and others on new teaching methods using technology. And the goal is not just to summarize them, but also to find out what they have in common, what works best, and what we can apply in the classroom. So, after presenting each article, I will discuss the key patterns, offer some suggestions, and end with my final reflection. Alright, precious people. The first article is titled Enhancing EFL Students' Grammar Competence by Zhao. So, this study from China investigates how 4 things: student beliefs, learning strategies, motivation, and teaching method combine to affect grammar learning. It also uses a learning app called Khalegh. So, the hybrid learning model with both classroom and digital learning improves students' motivation and performance. The strength of this article is its holistic view. It doesn't focus only on the teacher or the material, but also the student's internal factors. But the limitation is that it was only conducted in one university in China. So, it might not apply to all contexts. Also, it connects closely to Articles 6 and 7 after, which also involve digital tools and platforms in teaching grammar. Alright, the next article is an in-depth exploration of EFL teachers' grammar teaching cognition by Khalegh Setoodeh. So, this study looks at what teachers believe about grammar and how that affects the way they teach. Some teachers believe grammar should be explained directly, while others prefer to focus on meaning and let students discover grammar on their own. So this article helps us understand that teaching is not just about method, it's about mindset. Its strength is the deep interviews with teachers that resolve real challenges and attitudes. But one weakness is that beliefs don't always match what teachers actually do in class. So this connects directly to Article 4, which also focuses on teacher beliefs but in a different cultural setting. Okay, next, this article, Applying Pragmatic Approach in EFL Grammar Instruction by Kuntso, Oksana. Instead of giving rules first, grammar is taught while students do communication tasks like speaking or writing. So this helps grammar feel more real and meaningful. And the strength is that students understand grammar through use, which promotes fluency. But for beginners, might struggle with that clear rule first. So this article matches with Article 5, where students say they still want explanations even in communicative classes. Alright, the next article is EFL Teachers' Beliefs about Grammar Teaching within the Communicative Approach by Christian Alexander. Alright, so we found that even though all teachers use the communicative approach, their grammar strategies were very different. Some use L1 a lot, others use pure English, and some corrected grammar quickly. Also others read it. And the benefit from this article is that we see the diversity in real classrooms, but the weakness is that there's no agreement even within the same method. So this article directly connects to Article 2, which also shows how teacher beliefs influence grammar instruction. Alright, this article is EFL students' beliefs about how they learn grammar best by Isagul Dalogu. So, this article focuses on what students believe help them most in learning grammar. The study involved university students who were asked whether they prefer explicit instruction, like rules and examples, or more communicative and discovery-based methods. Then, most of them clearly prefer explicit instruction. They wanted their teachers to explain the grammar first and then give examples or practice. They also like grammar being integrated with writing or reading. And then the benefit of this article is that it gives voice to learners, which we sometimes forget, right? And its strength is that it's based on direct student feedback, which can guide teaching. But the weakness is that students' preferences don't always lead to the best long-term outcome. So this article connects strongly to Article 9, which also proves that explicit grammar teaching improves students' writing. Alright, for the next article is the use of flipped learning in EFL grammar instruction by Nazmi Biaiter. So here, flipped learning means that students study grammar material like videos or worksheets before class. Then, during class time, they practice, discuss, and apply what they learned. So students were more active in class because they came prepared. They felt more confident when practicing grammar in groups or conversation. So this method is great because class time becomes more engaging and useful. So that's the biggest strength. But the weakness is that it depends on students actually doing the pre-class work. Because if they don't, they get left behind, right? So yeah, this approach is very similar to what we'll see in Article 10, which uses the GITT method. Alright, next, this article is by Benjamin Khalegh, titled Reaping the Fruits of Technology Integrated Grammar Instruction. So, this article explores how Web 2.0 tools like blogs, wikis, and forums can be used for grammar learning. For example, students might write grammar-focused blog posts or edit grammar together in a shared document. So, this method is highly engaging and it supports creativity. And it moves the learning from teacher-centered to student-centered. So yeah, a clear strength is that it encourages collaboration and active grammar use. However, one challenge is that students need strong digital skills, right? So if they're not comfortable using technology, they might struggle. And yeah, this article connects with Article 1, which also supports using tech for grammar learning. Alright, the next one is EFL Grammar Teaching Applying the Just-in-Time Teaching Methodology by Farah Nurkumaila. So, the GIPT method is similar to flipped learning. Students prepare at home using grammar tasks or questions. Then in class, the teacher addresses their problems and helps them apply what they studied. So students become more responsible and reflective because they must prepare before class. So this model works best for intermediate or higher learners who can self-study. So yep, that is strength. However, beginners might feel lost without more direct instruction by their teacher. And this article closely connects to Article 6 because both use flipped instruction models to improve grammar. Alright, this study is titled Explicit Grammar Instruction for EFL Writing and Editing by Grace Wang. So, at a Korean university, students use grammar workbooks to improve their writing. These were focused on sentence level accuracy, and most students reported that the practice helped them write clearer and more confidently. So the strength of this article is the structure. So students follow clear steps and corrected their mistakes. But one weakness is that there wasn't much teacher guidance during the process. So it was self-study. And yeah, this article, same with Article 5, where students say they prefer clear, structured grammar explanation. Alright, the 10th article, or the last article of mine, is The Role of Grammar in Learning, Teaching English by Nellie Arif. And so, this article talks about how students believe grammar is essential, not just for accuracy, but also for fluency and confidence. So students want to know the rules before they use them, but they also want those rules to be used in real communication. So this article is strong because it brings together theory and real student voices. But the weaknesses is that it generalizes a bit. Real classrooms can be more complex. But still, it connects with many other articles that highlight the role of belief in shaping grammar instruction. Alright, precious people. So, what patterns do you see from these 10 articles? Let's know it together. Alright, first, grammar instruction works best when it combines both form and meaning. Students want clear explanation, but they also want to use grammar in real-life situations. Second, teacher and student beliefs matter. Whether it's in China, Korea, or Peru, beliefs influence how grammar is taught and received. Third, technology is useful, but only if students are ready for it. Like Web 2.0, with learning and apps can enhance learning, but they also require discipline and digital skills. And finally, methods like JITT, Pragmatic Grammar, and Explicit Workbook each have value. There's no one best way, so it depends on our students and our goals. Okay, to conclude, all these studies show us that grammar is still a key part of language learning. But it should be taught in a way that fits the learner's needs and level. Because sometimes we need clear explanation, but sometimes we need to let students explore grammar through communication. So, I just want to say, as future teachers, we must stay open-minded and flexible. Alright, precious people, I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I hope it gives you useful insight. So, nice to see you and goodbye!